overwhelmed, if the devotion didn't do the work for you, I hope that song will just inspire you not to settle for less in whatever season that you are in today, right? Today, because it's all about today. But nonetheless, as it is a thankful Thursday, as a dean mentioned on the WhatsApp line, it's a thankful Thursday. And you know that every Thursday, right here on In Season, we chat to an author. You know, we find out what inspired them to write out a book that serves to inspire, empower others who will be reading it. And today is like no other. However, the author is different, right? The author is different. Joining me today on the line is a USA based executive producer, director. Okay. She's also the founder and CEO of VN Streaming, which is amazing because I happen to watch a few episodes of it. And she is an author. That is why she is joining me today. Please help me welcome Vuyo Joboda on the line again. Good morning. How are you? I am good. I am good. Listen, you are doing literally everything under the sun. What do you not do? Like for starters, what do you not do? Yeah, yeah. There's a young problem. I think your mic is just a little too soft. If you can just amp it up a little for us. Just a little again, because you're literally soft, softer than a mother's touch.
And now?
Fantastic. That is better. That is way, way better. So please, again, what will you not do?
I was basically saying that I tend to do things I'm passionate about, and I shy away
Yeah.
from things I'm not passionate about. So everything that I
Uh-huh.
do get to do is something that I enjoy, that I love,
Yeah.
and yeah, I kind of you won't see me in it unless I am passionate about it. Is what I'll
Hmm.
say. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that. So you speak highly of passion. Would you say that you are passionate about writing? Take us through the process, or rather the time in your life when that writing bug bit you.
The writing bug bit me, and I was unaware that I'd said to a friend yesterday that I had just never ever imagined I'd be an author. Like it's one of the things that I
Uh-huh.
never had in the plan. Like I knew
Yeah.
I wanted to do television and film, but being an author was not one of them. But
Hmm.
writing, however, has always been part of my life. I'd
Yeah.
always kind of loved the idea of documenting stories, ideas, and kind of
Mm.
placing them on paper or placing them on record.
Yeah.
And because of my academic, background, I kind of understood, based on that or through that, the importance of literature. And I fell
Hmm.
in love with literature by just being immersed in it forcibly by school, which I'm not complaining about.
Yeah.
But I knew of the importance and the value of literature through that experience. But I've always
Hmm.
been writing. And I always knew that I had a voice, but I just never understood the ways in which those could be expressed. And
Sure.
after having after having written for a while, I kind of went on to put together this book, right? And I
Hmm.
had a tour around the country speaking, and I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements and kind of
Yeah.
motivation and inspirational speaking. And there was this request from a number of people asking me to kind of just like leave them with something. And I had already been documenting quite a lot, and I'd been writing quite
Yeah.
a lot. And I just thought of just putting it together. I initially self-published the book, which was a process in
Wow.
itself that I had not been aware of, but I learned more of
Yeah.
through that process. I was extremely grateful
Hmm.
for having gone through that. Before the book was then, internationally published, and then it was all this whole
Hmm.
thing. Oh, now it's an internationally, published author, and it kind of started sinking
Yeah.
in then that, oh, okay, maybe
Yeah.
we're onto something. But I was just writing.
Mm.
I still do write to this day. I still enjoy the idea of just writing. But
Yeah.
the formalization of it was something that I kind of, took only notice of, before the book, before I released the book 21. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's just been a fun and exciting process. And I
Sure.
know that there's so
Sure.
many times in which, I released through writing. I used writing as a
Hmm.
release, for my thoughts and ideas and stories.
Yeah.
And little did I know that it would become something that, changes my life forever.
Yeah, sure. I love that. I truly love that. Now, your book 21, for those who haven't gone through it, I know I have a soft copy nyana, in my mails, with which I happen to have gone through. Tell us a bit more about the book. What inspired you to write this book, and what's it all about, just in a nutshell?
Yes. So I explained 21 as being my 21st birthday gift to the world. I released it on my 21st
Okay.
birthday. And it was a love letter, from me to anyone who was on their journey to discovering their purpose, right? And I'd written and I
Yeah.
documented this book when I was in my process of purpose discovery, and I wanted to find understanding of what was occurring and what was happening to me. And I wanted this
Mm.
book to be a source of kind of strength for those who are in that process and don't know
Yeah.
how to navigate the idea of purpose discovery and the idea of maximization of purpose, and feeling weird about it, because there's a sense and
Yeah.
just a feeling of just like, I'm not sure if this is the correct feeling. But it's a sense of
Uh-huh.
kind of like, comfort for those who are going through that journey, or have, are experiencing that journey, or are going to experience that journey, to just find comfort within that
Hmm.
journey and understanding of themselves further on, by going on that journey. And I went through the
Yeah.
journey, and I found discoveries about what I'm meant to do and who I am. It was a very
Mm.
uncomfortable process. So it was, for me, it was important as I was writing and putting it together, that whoever
Yeah.
reads it will start to find comfort in their discovery of their purpose. And
Mm.
they just will be, content with whatever that realization is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a purpose discovery, purpose manifestation, and purpose maximization book.
Yeah.
And I get to share some intimate and personal, parts of what I was thinking and going through in my purpose discovery journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a bit of, it's God
Sure.
infused, so you get to hear
Mm.
the connection to how God, and ultimately our creation and the ultimate purpose is connected to our individual purposes, and how God plays a big role in the
Yes.
confident discovery of what one's purpose is. So it
Mm.
is a very it's a very special part of my heart. And
Yeah.
I definitely recommend anyone to go about and grab a copy, and
Uh-huh.
whatever stage of their lives they're in, right? Doesn't the number, for me, the number 21 in the title was merely, because of just being at that time and
Yeah.
wanting to kind of, as I said, it was my 21st birthday gift, so hence the title.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily equate to the age, right? And one reading it
Mm.
at a particular age, but it really is
Yeah.
for someone on a journey, right? And
Mm.
I think a lot of us are.
Yeah, we are, and I can concur with you there. We truly are. Now, in the book, you touch on, I think it's in chapter 3, you touch on the principles to a purposeful life. Could you share a few, if you can, and tell us what inspired that particular chapter?
Oh my! So I am like a firm believer. It's so hot in New York, so you'll see me sweating.
I'm wearing a turtleneck, and I'm like, what? Things are not
It is
balancing.
it is so hot.
Yeah.
So principles. So I am a principles based individual. Like, I live by
Mm.
principles. So I'm a Christian. For those who don't know, my faith is a very big part of my life. So I infuse God in everything that I do, right? And
Yeah.
principles are what guide and lead my life, right? And everything that
Yeah.
I do, it's principle led. So me writing a book was to encompass the concept and the idea of principles. So
Love that.
principles to a purposeful life share some nitty-gritties on, some of the things that we take for granted oftentimes, but are essential on that particular path and on that
Mm.
purpose discovery. And I use words like love, right? And words like
Yeah.
forgiveness, and words that we often, and I call what the Bible would call them fruits of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't necessarily investigate those types of words, right? Or take time
Sure.
to ponder on what those mean. And
Yeah.
what does love mean in my purpose, right? Love for self,
Mm.
love for others, love for where I am and who I am, love. So it just encompasses so many different things. So I kind of touch
Yeah.
base on those principles and those types of principles that I believe are essential within
Mm-hmm.
that journey and acceptance, because there's
Yeah.
there's so many times in which we base whatever that we do on non-substantial things. So I wanted,
Mm.
to ensure that within the book I bring back the concept and the idea of principle of foundational grounding before we go
Mm.
into that journey of purpose discovery. Like, what are we
Yeah.
laying down on the foundation that whatever that purpose that we have found is, it's centered and it's grounded and firmed on a firm foundation with those
Mm.
types of principles, that are borrowed from the fruits of the spirit.
Yeah.
And we often don't investigate, but are importantly and essential for the
Yeah.
journey. And yeah, like I think it's important to consider those principles, and I'd really say
Mm-hmm.
grab a copy of the book, and you'll learn more about the other principles to a
Yeah.
purposeful life that are in
Yeah.
there.
Of course, you don't want to give away, right? So that the folks can go and purchase
Yeah.
the book. Now, you speak highly of, or rather you tap more on encouraging people to write this story, and you believe that we all have stories.
That's right.
What prompts that thought that everyone should write because they have a story to tell?
I mean, I'm a storyteller, right? So everything is a story for me. Like, I find a story in everything. I'm like, what's the
Yeah,
story in this all the time?
content. Yeah.
So I, as a storyteller, I definitely always advocate for one to firstly identify the story within the journey, right?
Uh-huh.
And to make sure that as you're kind of going through the highs and the lows of life, to
Hmm.
investigate what story is being created, right? And I see our lives as movies. Like, I see, as acts and as scenes and as chapters, right? That
Yeah.
I definitely think that each and every one of us have a story to tell, which is why I create platforms like the ones that I do, because I think it's
Hmm.
such an essential thing that we don't negate our own individual stories, looking for others' stories to find our
Yeah.
stories. But we all have individual
Mm-hmm.
stories that make us human, that really
Hmm.
get to connect us, right, at a deeper level and a
Yeah.
deeper sense. So I always advocate for others to write. And when someone says, "But how can what do I write about?"
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
often say,
Yeah.
start from something that you know. Like, we all know something. There's something that
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know that maybe someone else might not know as much as you know it. There's an experience that
Yeah.
you've gone through that someone else might have not gone through, and that's the starting point
Hmm.
to writing, right? It's just sharing. So yeah, I mean, it's something I think that we all, at some point of our lives, we all need to, just practice the idea of documentation. What are you
Yeah.
leaving behind? What will be said and written and left by you, right? And I think
Sure.
literature allows that to happen. Like,
Mm.
whether you're here or you're not here, whatever you had written shall forever be, right? And that for me was also why
Hmm.
I wanted I found myself writing was, and just even going through the full extent of publishing, was I understood what
Yeah.
publishing a book, it's eternal, right? Nothing, it'll never
Mm.
go away. It will always be in history.
Yeah.
So what then will be left behind? What words will I leave behind in this world? And some of those are inscribed within the book that I'd left behind. So it's important to write, and it doesn't have to be a book sometimes. It can just be
Mm-mm.
allowing yourself to write your dreams, to do vision boards, to write what you want to achieve, to write a plan every single day, to
Mm,
write a
yeah,
schedule. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I
yeah.
am just a big lover of
Just right.
writing.
Yeah, just right. Just right. Start writing from now on.
That's right.
Listen,
That's
Vuyo,
right.
it is amazing chatting to you. And I can see good it is very hot where you are. I mean, you've been fanning yourself. And before I let you go, where can our people purchase 21?
So 21 is currently internationally published in the States and basically around the world, and it's available on
Yeah.
USA booksellers, right? Because my publisher is based in the USA, so which is also, partial reason why I'm here. So
Mm,
we have the book sold all across the US, and it is available on Amazon. And also at
okay.
Exclusive Books for those in South Africa, we had made the extensive efforts to make sure that my people
Awesome.
back home able to get a copy. So one
Yeah.
can find it on Exclusive Books or at Amazon for
Mhm.
worldwide deliveries across the world. So yeah, get a copy, and let's stay in touch and start writing your book as well.
Yeah, might as well just after this. Speak about writing books. Are you planning on publishing another one anytime soon? Is that a thought?
Wow. So I had this conversation with my publisher the other day, right? And I was just like,
Yeah.
well, right? I had contributed to a second book in 2020 that I was part of. It was a recipe book for charity that we would put together
Mhm.
in 2020. So that was a project that I was really excited about. It was a different form of writing and a different form of publishing, but it was exciting. And
Yeah.
I shared with my publisher that I haven't put out anything in a minute, and
Yeah.
I have been writing, so there's definitely some stuff in the works. I am not sure when I'll be
Okay.
releasing that next book,
Yeah.
but when I'm ready, I'll know when I'm ready to release. But it's definitely, yeah, just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Socials, where can we follow your journey?
Yes, I'm at Vuyo Joboda, VYOJOBODA. I always have to I have to spell my name out here in the States because everyone's like, "How do you
Yeah.
say your name?" It's
Yeah.
VYO. JOBODA
Mm,
at Weird Joboda across all social media platforms. Follow,
yeah.
my wherever social Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm there, and also
Mm,
my currently, working on a project here in the States. I'm shooting my talk show, which is called the Vuyo Joboda Show, live from New York City. So you'll find
mhm,
that as well at the underscore Vuyo Joboda Show on social media as well. So stay with me, follow the journey, follow, the experience, because it's
mhm.
definitely an interesting one, an exciting one.
It is an interesting one, an exciting one, and inspiring one. And we thank you so much that you're one of those who, decided to write your story so that we can also be inspired to write our stories. Thank you so much for your time. Cannot wait to have you back here, whether it's about TV, film, production, or when you have another book. So I cannot wait. Thank you so much for your time. God bless.
Thank you, Sakhe. Have a fantastic
Thank
day.
you. Hi, thank you so much. Right, that was Vuyo Joboda chatting to me with regards to her book, which is titled The 21, right? You can purchase it. It's literally available everywhere in the world. And for us here in South Africa, Exclusive Books and also Amazon, that is where you can purchase the book. But for now, let's quickly go pay our